So today I wanted to bring up a point that I think a lot of people need to hear, okay? At least those of you who are interested in manifesting financial abundance. I want to explain and kind of dispel a really popular myth that surrounds money manifestation and manifesting abundance, specifically material and financial abundance. Now, it took me forever to figure this out. It really took me forever, and it had me kind of confused and perplexed for several years. And now that I figured this out, I kind of want to bring it to you guys because, like I've said before, my ultimate goal is to actually help you, okay? That's my ultimate goal, number one. I want people to be able to say, I listened to what Rich said and it worked, and be able to point to something. That's my goal. So here's one of the most common myths that I think, if you understand how this works, it might make the process of getting on the path to manifesting abundance much easier, okay? The myth is that, or at least the understanding, is that money is on a high vibration, okay? That's kind of the understanding. People may not say that like word for word, but if you have dove in and done the research like I did for so many years, and I attended school and things of that nature, you always hear that you want to raise your vibration, right? That you want to raise your vibration to get on the frequency to attract abundance. Well, that led me to believe that the energy of money, or at least the energy that would attract an abundance of money, was a high frequency, meaning that money is on a high frequency. And that's not true. That's not exactly the way that it works. The way that it works is, yes, money is a very specific energy. But if you take a look out there, there are lots of very incredibly filthy rich, really low vibrational people. Angry, miserable, hateful, greedy, So I always wonder, well, why was I always told that I have to raise my vibration to attract financial abundance? But here I see some rich people, not all, okay? Because money's not on a low vibration either. I see some rich people who are so angry and just miserable and hateful and on a very low vibration. Here's the thing. Money is an energy that flows, okay? It flows, and it's constantly flowing. It's constantly flowing. The overwhelming majority of the population, especially people who are not where they want to be financially, are clamping off the flow. And that's the problem. Now, why are they clamping off the flow? Out of fear. Fear is down there with the lowest vibrations of 3D and that you can experience in human form is fear. I would say that 90 to 95% of the people who are not where they want to be financially are all doing the same thing. They're clamping off the flow, preventing money from flowing out. Okay? Now you're still clamping off the flow because if it's not flowing out, it's not going to flow back to you either. Okay? So this is the way we've been taught and trained and programmed to think, is that you cling to your money and clamp onto it and just save, cling. Well, you are clamping off the flow. Okay? That's what you're doing when you do that. You may as well pinch off a water hose and fill up a bucket with the drops that are dripping through. Okay? So in order to open up the flow of money, you have to get out of the vibration of fear. That's the thing. You have to program your mind out of the vibration of fear, and that's what helps you figure out how to release it and open up the flow. Okay? But once you figure out how to open up the flow of money, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're never going to dip back down into a low vibration again. It just makes it much, much easier to figure out how the mechanism actually functions. Okay? So when you're in a really low vibration of fear, one of the things that most people fear the most is losing all their money, spending all their money. If their money leaves, it's never coming back. Okay? Well, I can remember on my path, from the minute I made the decision that I am going to manifest a business where I sit at home and work on the internet and make 6 figures a year. From the minute I made that decision to the minute the door finally opened and the money started flowing in was about a year and a half. About a year and a half. Throughout that year and a half period, I had to allow the money flow to open. Okay? I'm making minimum wage at the time, scrubbing cars at a car wash for tips. Every day I'd walk into work not having a clue if I was going to make enough money to eat dinner that night. But I knew I had to get on the path and open up the flow. What does this mean? I got to take action towards what I want while opening up the flow of money. Meaning I'm building businesses. Barely making enough to scrape by. Every spare penny that I had went towards building businesses. And even pennies I didn't have, I had to open it up and say, oh well, I'm going to make this back times 1,000,000. Okay, let it go. So let's say I invested $100 on an ad marketing training course, and then $35 on software, and another $50 on some web hosting. And you know, I'm making minimum wage, getting up there close to $200, $300. Your average person would, oh no, my God, clamp it down. But I would just let it flow and say, okay, universe, I know that you'll take care of me when I need it. I just know you will. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I'm just going to keep trusting you and stay on the path and letting the money flow. So I would build a business and it would crash and burn. Hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars over a 6-month period down the drain. I kept the flow open. Oh well, I'm going to make this back. I'm going to be able to wipe my ass with $1,000 one of these days. And you gotta let the flow open and just let it flow. That is much easier to accomplish when you're in a high vibration. Okay? Because remember, money flows. That's the most important thing that you could ever learn about manifesting money, is that it flows. And you want to think about the infinity symbol. Ebb and flow. Okay? It flows out and flows in. It flows out and it flows in. And it flows out and it flows in. No matter where you're clamping it off, doesn't matter where you're clamping it off. Most people are clamping it off and preventing it from going out. Okay? It's still not going to be able to come back in. Does this make sense? So that, I think, probably would have helped me a lot on my journey if I kind of understood that. Because money in and of itself is not on a high vibration. Money flows. In order to attract money, you have to release the flow. The reason that we clamp onto it and prevent it from flowing is out of fear. Out of fear. So it makes it much, much easier to relinquish and let go of fear when you're in a high vibration. But once you reach that high vibration and you let go of the flow and you start attracting money to you, now you figure out how the flow of money works. So at the end of the day, your vibration really doesn't matter. As long as you keep the flow open, your vibration doesn't really particularly matter. It is detrimental to the flow of money when you're in a low vibration. Okay? Because if you start channeling that low vibration towards your money, then yes, you can do all kinds of horrible things. You can manifest all kinds of bad things. I just wanted to make this point that money in and of itself is not on a high vibration. Raising your vibration just makes it easier to figure out how to release and let the money flow happen. Okay? All right, well, I know at least one person needed to hear that. And as long as one person takes one thing that they heard me say and uses it to totally transform their life, then my job is complete. I'm out of here now, y'all. I wish you love, luck, light, and prosperity on your journey. Y'all stay blessed.